had a chance to online date, and I'm kind of okay with that, to be honest with you, especially based on these stories. I haven't read the stories that I'm reading today, but hey, other stories that I read were. So I'm really super excited to hear your guys' stories too. So leave me some comments about your worst Tinder dates. Doesn't necessarily have to be the worst ones either. It could be like really good ones too, because we love a love story. I also got some softbox lights. I've been using them for like a week or two now, and I'm still like playing with the placement of them. I really don't know what the heck I'm doing, and I just keep getting shadows and lines on my face because of my glasses, but I think that's something I'm just gonna have to live with. Also, my hair is up today, which is like a rare occasion, but I worked out 2 days in a row, which is also a very rare occasion. And I just didn't feel like doing my hair, so here we are. That's my intro. 3-minute intro was crazy, but yeah, let's jump in. Let's jump into some stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel, and enjoy the video. Alright, these stories also don't have titles. I don't know if it's because I screenshotted them, so I cut the titles off, or no, I think they were like threads, so they didn't necessarily need a title because they were like comments in a thread. Anyway, alright, let's start. First story. After talking for 2 weeks on Tinder and then over text, I agreed to go on a date with this guy. He told me he was 6'7" and around 270 pounds, and I was like, okay, cool. So I was out of town, but closer to his town at the time of the date, so he picked me up from the hotel I was staying at, and yeah, he was 6'7", but he was more like 400 pounds instead of 270. Well, we had good conversations the past 2 weeks, so I decided to just carry on with the date because maybe he just had a broken scale. It's very generous of her. Anyways, he picked a restaurant, and it was a melting pot fondue style restaurant where you cook the food at your table. Ooh, that's so cute. Then he proceeded to order not just for him but for me as well. Mains, sides, cocktails, etc. He ordered it all, and I couldn't get a word in edgewise. When I'd say something, he just cut me off, so I stopped trying. While he was cooking some steak, one of his pieces fell off into the fondue, and I may or may not have thought it was mine and forked it up and ate it. No lie, this dude started screaming at me, asking, "Did you eat my piece of steak?" loudly, to where everyone could hear. This went on for about 15 minutes, loudly yelling at me. I just kept saying no, of course not, over and over, until the manager had to come over to ask him to stop or he'd be forced to leave. By this time, we had 3 cocktails each, all ordered by him, when he ordered a 4th for us because he was so pissed off he missed his last bite of steak. I declined the 4th cocktail, saying I'd had enough and didn't want another one, and that I had an early morning at work and we should probably be going soon. The waitress brings over the check and lays it down, and he just sits there for a good 5 to 10 minutes just staring at me, not saying a word. He'd look at me, then at the bill, and then back at me like he was expecting me to pay. And look, don't get me wrong, I had offered to pay at least my half, and have even offered to pay the whole check before on a date, but this time when I didn't pick the place, what I ate, or even what I drank, I definitely wasn't offering to pay for SHID. The bill ended up being close to $300, and the whole time he kept muttering under his breath about how expensive I was and how he shouldn't have to pay since he didn't even get to eat all his food, his one bite of steak. He drove me back to my hotel and had the audacity to ask if I was gonna let him come up to my room because he'd spent more than any other hooker and that he expected some sex. I had to end up calling the hotel security to escort him off the premises. Okay, alright, let's rewind a little bit, because if that was my last piece of steak, I might have been a little bit upset too, but he definitely did too much. Like, you don't need to be yelling in the restaurant, that's out of control. Also, it doesn't matter that he's 400 pounds, like, well, she doesn't know that he's 400 pounds, but you know what I mean, like, it doesn't matter that he's a big dude. What matters is that he was just, like, arrogant and inconsiderate and annoying. He shouldn't have ordered her food for her. If somebody ordered my food for me, I would be like, oh, are you eating that yourself? Because first date, I think, and then you're like demanding to go upstairs because you paid more for her than a hooker. Sir, you ordered all that food yourself. Make it make sense. That's crazy. Blocked, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, next story. I went to date with this girl about 25 kilometers after talking to for about 3 weeks. Very poor grammar here. We spoke about our similar interests in books and horror movies. We had dinner and she insisted to pay for it because she doesn't like guys to pay for her meals. All good. When we went to her apartment, which was about a 5-minute walk, we started watching a horror movie on her laptop as her TV didn't work. She asked me to sleep over. Okay, I'm getting late. So we get in the bed and I put my leg on hers and she freezes. I asked her if she was okay. She's still frozen. Felt like 30 seconds she didn't breathe. Then she closed her eyes. I got uncomfortable and pulled myself back. She opened her eyes and started talking about how she isn't able to get over her ex. I kept nodding as she spoke and slowly got out of bed and said I'm not comfortable and I'd like to go home. I walked out to my car and she kept coming behind me. Once I sat in my car and closed the door, she stood next to the car window and pulls her bra down and asked me to suck on her TIDs. I pulled the window up and didn't even look back until I got home. Wow, she sounds like a treat. That's a little bit much. She's got some emotional damage that she needs to work out with her therapist, and I'm sorry for this guy. Wow, he thought he was just gonna get laid and he was in for something very different. That's funny. Alright, next one. I met up with her at a coffee shop. We had some conversation, but I mostly carried it the whole time. The place was closing and we were the last people there, and the staff were clearly waiting for us to leave so they could lock up. So I stood up and said we should move to the ice cream parlor next door. She insisted. 15 more minutes without any explanation. I tried to insist, but she just kept repeating herself and had this blank stare that kind of gave me the creeps. So I told her I'd wait out on the sidewalk bench for her. She eventually did come out after 15 minutes, and when she sat down next to me, she started sobbing. I was stunned and leaned in to ask what's wrong, and she slapped me across the face. I jump back and suddenly she starts laughing. Now I'm steaming mad and I demand, why the hell did you just hit me? And she just brushes it off, saying it was just a joke, chill out. I would like to say that at this point I walked away, but I didn't. I was actually concerned that she was going through some total manic bipolar crisis that I didn't understand, and felt incredibly responsible to get her home safely. I knew where she lived and insisted we walk that way immediately. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, the only way that's happening is if you carry me. Y'all, I threw this woman on my back and carried her like a mile in Texas August heat. The whole time she acted like a dead body, completely loose and lifeless. I eventually got her to her front door with me, drenched in sweat. I threw her off my back at her steps, and she had the gall to say, oh my gosh, wait, this is like the worst part to transition. She had the gall to say, what? I lost my place. Oh, she had the gall to say, you aren't going to give me a goodnight kiss. I just yelled back, no, as I walked away. She called me the next day saying, I feel like I gave off the impression that I'm crazy, and I just want to say that's not the case. I said, oh, and hung up. She then called me a month later saying she was pregnant and I'm the father. I laughed and said, we've never had sex, and hung up. So yeah, I feel like it's pretty difficult for it to get worse than that, minus full-on criminal stuff, and use that perspective on dates that are simply lackluster. That was a wild ride, but honestly, if I was that guy, I would have left immediately after she slapped me. Like, are you kidding me? Okay, you can find your own way home, ma'am. enjoy your life, because you're never gonna see me again, and I'm blocking your number. That's crazy. Why did she slap him? Why did she want to stay in the coffee shop 15 more minutes? Why was she crying? I have so many questions. Okay, next story. I have had several questions, so I have decided to elaborate on my dating disaster. Okay, I don't know who asked these questions, but here we are. I had a girl who I matched with who had asked me to pick her up and we would go out. When I arrived, she came out with her son, her sister, and a bunch of belongings. They had no place to go and were getting kicked out of their place. I agreed I would drop them off at a friend's, but not before they asked me to go to Applebee's. I love Applebee's. She mentioned that they hadn't eaten, and I sat there as all three of them ate, and the two sisters ordered drinks. The drinks weren't strong enough, so they ordered additional shots as well. My date's 2-year-old son wouldn't let me go and tried to have me pick him up the whole time. He simply didn't want to walk and focused on me the whole meal, which involved him lovingly throwing items and sitting on my lap. After I paid for the meal, they packed up numerous leftovers. As we get in my vehicle, she suggests we could get 2 hotel rooms, one for us and one for her sister and son. I explained I didn't think it was a great idea. I dropped them off at the place they arranged to stay. I get a call after saying her friend isn't answering the door and they needed a place to stay. That was the date. Okay, but what did you do about the call? Like, what's going on? Where did she go? Like, where did this lady come from? I'm so confused by this story. I have no words. What do you guys think? Okay, well, this is the last story. So far, I'm really glad that I don't have to date or do any online dating or, any of this. Alright, I should have said, oh, they titled this one. Okay, I should have said, but I'm not married. She's not my wife. Okay, first date via Tinder. I was staying nearby in a local hotel for work. Met her at a bar. She was a nightmare all evening, so I left. After I'd left the bar, she kept ringing me and texting me, and I ignored her. I went to get some food, and when I got back to my hotel, reception called me over. The manager wanted to speak to me. Apparently, my newlywed wife had arrived to surprise me and wanted to be let in my room. I had every chance to say, but I'm not married, but curiosity took over. He then went on to tell me she was very drunk and very rude to his staff. At this point, I actually apologized for the behavior of my new wife, so asked, "Did you put her in a taxi?" But I didn't get the reply I wanted. No, she was too drunk. We let her into your room. By now, I am in a sitcom. It's too late for me to say, but I'm not married. She's not my wife. Instead, I had to thank the manager and his staff for helping my new wife. I got to my room. I could see the light was on from under the door. I quietly opened the door. She was there on the bed, star-shaped, face down, wearing only her knickers. No, I didn't. Instead, I slept on the floor at the foot of the bed with one eye open. Wise decision. Very wise decision on his part. These men with their curiosity, like, no offense to you guys, I know you're not all like this, but the red flags are red flagging, and you need to take the signs for what they are. Women too, definitely women too. But in these particular stories, the men's curiosity really got to them a little bit, I think. So, tell me what you guys think in the comments. Leave me some comments about your worst Tinder